So we're recording. Hi, I'm Edwin Rutch. I'm the founder of the Empathy Tent and also director of the Center for Building a Culture of Empathy. And with our Empathy Tent, we've been going to different political rallies and offering listening and facilitated dialogue and mediation. And today we have two participants here in the upcoming rallies, a counter rally, a rally in San Francisco. And we want to hold an empathy circle with the two of you to have a chance to dialogue with each other and help foster some mutual understanding and connection before the rallies. So the participants are Joey Gibson. Joey, you're the organizer of the Free Speech Rally in San Francisco. And Megan, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name.
Rohrer, it's like the noise a lion makes.
Oh, Rohrer, okay. Megan Rohrer, you're an organizer for one of the counter rallies for the San Francisco Peacefully Unites Against White Nationalists. And so maybe you could each just, to start with, take 30 seconds to just introduce yourself, add anything else that you would like to add about who you are and what you'd like to have known. Megan, perhaps like to start?
Sure. I'm pastor of Grace Lutheran in San Francisco. I'm also a volunteer chaplain with the San Francisco Police Department and a longtime advocate for the homeless in San Francisco, for the LGBTQ community and folk like that. And I'm a pastor in the Lutheran Church.
Oh, great. Thanks. Joey?
Yeah, my name is Joey Gibson. I run Patriot Prayer. Basically, trying to stay out of politics, trying to focus on free speech, freedom, love and peace, unity, trying to get moderates to kind of come together for a common purpose. We don't have to vote for the same person, but we can agree on on certain things, like free speech and freedom, and just finding ways to disagree, agree to disagree, so basically that's what it's about.
Okay, well, that's what we're trying to do with this empathy circle process. It's a structured process that has a few kind of this basic, agreements that we have, just so we can be sure everyone is heard. So in this process, one person is going to speak to the other, and the person who's listening is going to reflect back their understanding of what the speaker has been saying. So this is called active listening or empathic listening. And in this process, as the speaker, you want to pause, periodically so that the listener can reflect back their understanding of what it is that you're saying. And you can be free to, we really want everybody to totally freely express themselves. And we really want you to be heard, for the speaker to be heard the way that they want to be heard and understood. So that's part of this, is for you to be feel that you've been heard and understood. And as the listener, what the person is being spoken to, you just reflect back your understanding in your own words of what the speaker has said. You can summarize, paraphrase, just convey your understanding. And when you're done, saying what you have to say, you can say something like, I feel heard, or I feel fully heard. That just conveys it's the turn for the person to the other person to speak. And to begin with, we'll put in like a 5-minute limit for each side, because sometimes people go on and on and on. And so if once you feel heard, just say I feel heard, or I'll also keep time and have a little 4-minute warning sign here and a 5-minute time frame here. So that's the basic process. We can just jump right into it, and I'll do a reflection of the first round. So our question here is, what concerns do you have about the upcoming rallies this Saturday, or talk about whatever you'd like to convey and share?
Well, if we can, a thing that would help me in order to move forward.
Okay.
If I just want to know what's the protest for? What are you protesting? Why are you protesting me?
Okay,
we're not protesting you at all.
Okay, let me reflect back. I'm going to reflect back until you feel heard. So what I'm hearing, Joey, is that you're really wondering from Meg is why she is protesting. And you're wondering what she's protesting for. So you'd like some clarity about what she's protesting for?
Yeah.
Is that right, Joey, or is there more?
No, that would help us move forward. So I know what her concerns are, why she wants to protest, and what is it about me or Patriot Prayer that she's concerned about that she wants to protest.
Okay, so what I'm hearing there is you really want to hear what her concerns are about Patriot's Prayer, and you just want to really hear those concerns. Is that right, or is there more? Is that it, Joey? Do we got it? Okay. Megan, would you like to share? And I'll reflect back just to model how we do this.
Sure. I think the easiest thing to say is it's not about you at all, Joey. Our rally is uniting against white nationalists. I know that that's not who you are or who you identify as, and so it's probably not a rally that's against you. And even if that was your identity, it would not be about you. So here's a picture of some people that it is about. This is Ava and Kurt and Magda. They're 3 people who went to Auschwitz. 2 died and 1 lived. They are my wife's family. It's also about my 2 kids who are both Black and going to school in San Francisco. And my own self, I am a transgender individual. And we have experienced generations of hate and discrimination tangled up so often and so much that the PTSD of these issues is very fresh and very raw. And
okay, can I just reflect back? What I'm hearing is, if it becomes too much, it's hard to remember. So I'm hearing what I'm hearing you say is it's not even about Joey and his rally. That you're aware that his rally isn't a white supremacist.
I'm aware that he doesn't identify that way,
mm-hmm.
and
You're aware that he's not identifying that way, so it's not even about his rally. And what you are demonstrating against is white supremacy, and you're laying out people who it's really for. It's for yourself as a transgender person. It's a care about your children, as well as there's another.
My wife and her family who have died.
Oh, yeah. So you have a wife and family who died in Auschwitz. So it's really it's about demonstrating about that.
Yeah, and it's about celebrating the full diversity of San Francisco, where we just within the last 2 weeks experienced domestic terrorism with a car being driven into a rally. And I know that you also don't identify as someone who supports violence. But given the proximity with this rally, the fact that you were going to be nearby and people who look and dress like those who are at the rally in Charlottesville are going to be at this event, it gave us an opportunity to express our opposition against white nationalism, even if that's not how you all identify. So it's more about our mourning publicly than being against you specifically.
So I'm hearing that this is a public mourning about what happened in Charlottesville, and you realize that Joey wasn't involved in that, and this is just a chance for you to have that public mourning.
Yeah, and what is really hard is when there is moral ambiguity about white nationalism or moral ambiguity about white supremacy or anti-Semitism, transphobia, and issues of racial diversity. We want to make sure that as San Franciscans, as faith leaders, that we are not being ambiguous at all, that we are standing firmly against white supremacy and against hate speech and against violence. And so we want to make sure it's not ambiguous what hate is.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you want a real clear, ambiguous distinction between an unambiguous distinction between what hate speech is and what it's not, and that's what you're trying to convey, is what that clarity of that difference is.
Yes.
Is there more? Do you feel heard?
Well, the other thing that I wanted to say is I know specifically from having listened to some of Joey's talks on YouTube that a part of the adrenaline and the excitement of knowing that there might be violence, even when words happen that say we're opposed to violence, but then the video of the rally shows fires and it shows people fighting each other. It's really it's really unclear if the words match the actions and the visuals of the movement, and so my hope is that if it's true, that Joey is against violence and is against white nationalism, that Joey would also join me in being committed to no longer being ambiguous about it.
Mm-hmm. So you're seeing an ambiguity between violence and non-violence. And for example, in the videos that Joey is doing, you're saying that he's talking about non-violence, but there's sort of a violent quality to the videos, and that was the 5 minutes, so as well. So, Joey.
Yeah, I guess no. That's a legitimate point on the video. So we make sure, like, you know, we're pretty hated by Antifa, which is a hate group, and they use violence and threats all the time against us. And so we always make sure we highlight the violence that when they come in and they commit violence against us, we highlight that. And I think that people have talked to me about that, like the music I use and stuff like that. Like, it sounds like it looks like we're glorifying it. You know what I mean? And so I understand that concern. It's important that we show that it's happening, though, because mainstream media won't show it. And I need help. I need people on the left, moderates, socialists, whoever they may be. If they believe in peace, then they need to disavow Antifa. I don't hear that.
Okay. So would you like to reflect that, or would you like me to do it, Megan?
I can reflect that.
Okay.
I think Joey has heard this feedback before, that violent imagery in music maybe doesn't fulfill the fullness of what he wants to convey, but he also wants people to renounce Antifa.
Is that it? Is there more?
That's a real concern of mine, because just like how Megan wants me to be very clear about white nationalism, white supremacy, and Nazis, and I have spoke out against them, and I will continue to do it. But I would kind of hope that it's fair to ask for the left to kind of do the same thing. You know what I mean? There's extremists on both sides who are tearing apart this country, and I will stand with anybody. I don't care I don't care if they're gay, straight, black, white, brown, whatever. I will stand with anybody who's a good person and will speak out against these extremists on both sides.
What were you hearing, Megan?
I heard that you are willing to stand with people who are willing to renounce extremists.
Yeah. I don't, and you know, Megan, I didn't hear you say anything that I disagree with about. Like, I everything that you said, why you want to be there, what you believe in, what you stand for, there's no reason why that would conflict with what I'm trying to do, with what I believe. In no way.
Yeah. Do you want me to reflect?
Yeah, please reflect till he feels heard. Yeah, just reflect the question, everything you heard. Yeah.
I heard you say that the words that I'm using resonate with you, and you want to know why maybe we couldn't be at the same gathering.
Yeah.
Shall I answer that?
Is there
Sure.
more, or you feel heard? Okay. Yeah.
So I did also, because I listened to a lot of your words, and I did notice that we might preach the exact same sermon on a Sunday if we were in different congregations. And as a Lutheran celebrating the 500th anniversary of the Reformation, I know that Lutherans have contributed to white supremacy in the past, and some of Luther's language has been used to encourage Nazis. The 1940s kind. And so I have taken actions to repent from my own ways that I am entangled in that, and in the ways that Christianity and the Bible can be used both to love and support and name and claim the people I will support my whole life speaking out against.
You want to reflect back your understanding of what you heard Megan say, Joey?
Well, I understand what she's saying in terms of how Christianity has been used to all kinds of people, just like every religion has been. So I'm assuming she's making the connection. That's her concern with me.
No.
Maybe she's saying that my words are is a way that can be used to brainwash people.
Nope.
But I don't think that
She's saying that wasn't what she said. You would
and
like
that's
to,
legitimate, but I don't think that
Joey?
I think man has perverted the words of the New Testament.
Joey?
Not the other way around.
Oh, are you hearing me, Joey? She said it doesn't.
I can't hear you.
Oh dear. Can you?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, Megan. Can you redo your
I can't
phone?
hear you.
Uh-oh. Okay, do you hear us now? Yeah.
I can't hear you.
We hear you. This is difficult with the technology.
Especially because that would be an awkward place to leave things.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah,
saying.
hopefully he's leaving and coming back in. So.
I hope if. Oh, there you are.
Okay. Do you hear us now? Yeah, we definitely want you to be heard on that. And hopefully he'll return and reboot. So what I was hearing, I'll just reflect back what I was hearing. Hopefully he will return. Oh, maybe he can. Okay, do you hear us now, Joey?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, do you hear us?
I can hear you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Megan was saying you didn't understand her, so she's going to say it again until she feels really heard and understood. So would you reflect, say that again?
I wasn't actually trying to imply anything. I was just saying the first half of my sentence so I can see how you might have been reading.
Maybe say it in a smaller piece.
Sure, yeah. I was saying that I was struck as I watched your videos that the words that you were using at most of your rallies were the same words that I might preach in my congregation, and that I have done a lot of work to acknowledge the ways in which the Lutheran Church in particular has participated in anti-Semitism in the past. And then I was going to say the next part.
Let's let him reflect that first, just a piece. But so what did you hear Megan say, Joey?
Okay, I see. So she's saying that there's a lot of similarities and some of the stuff that we would say, like when we preach. So there's a lot of similarities. And then she's going to talk about self-reflection that she's had to do in terms of things like the history of the Lutheran Church and their discrimination towards certain cultures or races.
Right. Yes. And what I think is the difference is who we're preaching to and how we're preaching to them. And I went through some of your speakers lists, and there was a lot of folk who either are internet famous for having assaulted people at rallies, whether it's in defense or self-defense, can be figured out by courts. There were some people who were talking about how they know people come to the rallies in order to fight each other. And there was a lot of language about being like a soldier of God and being ready to fight. And so I'll stop there so it's a small enough chunk.
Yeah, so I see you're concerned about people borderline going to that thing where they're going to use God as a justification as soldiers to discriminate, or to hurt other people kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? Is that your concern? Sort
of. I was just noting that from the speakers list, there are people who have actively engaged in violence, whether it's defense or self-defense is not for me to judge. And that some of the speakers were talking about that they know the reason that participants in the rally show up with their bodies is because they are interested in getting in a fight, and that some of the language is about being a soldier, like a soldier for God.
Yeah, but that's definitely realistic.
What were you hearing her say? Oh, sorry.
That's a realistic description, though.
Oh.
I mean, that is true. There is people that show up that want to fight. There is people that feel like we're at a war right now. That's definitely 100% true.
Right.
Did you feel that he got it, what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Close enough. I mean, so when I preach, get off your butts and do something in the world, don't be afraid, get things done, to a group of people who are going to now go out and feed the homeless. And I actually compliment you because I know you guys do that a lot. You go out and feed the homeless, and I think that's fantastic. When I'm doing it to help people get off their butts and help the moral universe arc towards justice, it feels like a different sermon than when you're preaching it to someone who brought weapons with them to a rally and came there excited to get into conflict, and you used images about riots and protests, and the only examples of racism you used were about white people feeling uncomfortable about Black people confronting them. And so if there were more examples that were explicitly about denouncing anti-Semitism, that were about denouncing hatred of immigrants just because of their skin color or where they come from, or was denouncing treating people differently because of their skin color, that might be a different thing. But it's all I have to judge from is what I can see from your speeches on the internet.
So what were you hearing, Joey?
Yeah. Yeah. So Megan, you would feel better if I did a better job and I was more consistent. And like, for example, you said you've only heard me speak out of racism towards white people. I don't know where that was. Maybe that was Evergreen State College. I don't know. But I'm trying to preach against racism 100% of the time, no matter who you are.
Sure.
I'm trying to go beyond not only not being racist. I'm trying to say, let's forget about skin color, which is, I know a lot of people on the left, don't like doing that because they feel like a lot of people are being discriminated against. So you can't just forget about skin color. But I really don't see race. I know the country does. I know a lot of people do. But I would really start to focus on what's on the inside. That's my main thing. A lot of people on the left who I work with.
Sorry to interrupt here, but just to be sure we stay within the format, we did come to the time frame. Did you feel heard, Megan? I
mean, I think Joey got the gist of what I'm saying.
Okay. So
would you like me to repeat back what Joey said?
Yeah, now if you would say back what you heard Joey say.
Okay.
Just to stay within the format, thanks.
Joey, I know you to be authentically and consistently preaching that love is more important than hate, and you also consistently speak that you are not a fan of violence because it disrespects people rather than allowing people to hear the conversations that are happening at your rally.
Yeah.
Is that it? Mm-hmm. Is there more?
For me?
Yeah.
Or what? Oh.
It's your turn in the process to speak.
Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say is I really am. My goal right now is to really bring people together. And there's so many things that are splitting us up. I know a lot of people are concerned about race, and that's okay. That's legitimate. That is a real issue. I mean, slavery was just existed, not too long ago. So that's a real concern. I get that. And there's a lot of people out there who dedicated their whole lives to fight racism. That's good. That's great. We need those people. For me, though, my main concern is to stand against hate, all forms of hate. We have it all over the place. And too many people get sidetracked with racism. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, but what about hate in general? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see too many people get mad when protesters show up and spew out tons of hate. You know what I mean? That's my concern. That's what I'm focused on right now.
So I hear you saying that your focus is to try to unite people so that people who are against hate could all maybe be at the same rally and have a healthy dialogue? Yeah.
That's why I'm not being political anymore, because it's too divisive. It's not, I don't want to tell people who to vote for anymore. That's to me, we have way bigger issues, and it's cultural. And, you know, I don't care, you know, the more liberals that or socialists that I'm getting closer to, that I learn from, I understand that a lot of us kind of believe in the same things. If you're a good person, that is, you know what I mean? We have to, we got to go against the people who are lying, who are deceptive, who are trying to tear apart this country. You know, the people at the top, the establishment, you know, that's what I want to focus on.
So I hear you saying that you want to focus on the things that unite us, the people. You want to speak the truth about the people who are lying, and you want to help people understand that their differences maybe aren't as different as sticks and clubs might make people think they are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there more? You still got a minute and a half.
No.
Okay. Details heard.
Yeah. So I sincerely give you the benefit of the doubt that everything you are saying is true, and I have our counter rally is at the Civic Center and far enough away so that folk who might be coming there to try to be violent and hateful on the liberal side are given other alternatives and shown that there's another option. And so I hope that I'm helping you work. I hope I'm giving you an opportunity to step off of federal land where guns could be carried and come to our rally that truly is a place that is trying to say that violence can't be tolerated.
I didn't hear the last part. I didn't hear the last part about the guns.
Oh, I wanted to say that our event at Crizzy Field is far enough away from your space that we're able to encourage people not to be violent with each other, and that if you wanted to, you could come off of federal property where guns are allowed and come onto San Francisco property where they're not allowed and be a part of a conversation without weapons.
Yeah, I think that, well, we can't change, you know, well, first of all, just so you know, the federal, okay, well, where you're at, okay, I see what you're saying.
Reflect back. Can you just reflect back what she was saying and then
yeah. So
her satisfaction?
Megan feels unsafe, and I understand that. She feels unsafe. The fact it would be nice to be able to go on property where she knows that it's illegal to carry a weapon.
Nope.
Is that correct?
Okay.
My issue isn't safety at all. I actually am trying to prevent unproductive conflict, and I'm, as a nonviolent protester, I follow Gandhi. It's part of why I'm in this conversation. There's the two hands of nonviolence, where you recognize the truth of someone else and say no to injustice and hate that's happening. I'm mostly, more importantly, saying that I can give you the benefit of the doubt that you don't want violence by inviting you to move off of land that allows weapons to be there.
Okay. I guess I'm just confused. Is it like if I truly was nonviolent, you think it sends a better message to be on city land? Is that?
So what I'm saying is, by having symbols and visuals that allow people who take on the conflict and the white supremacy that you disavow, like, for example, the snake on your t-shirt has been used at times in ways that have been deemed as hate speech by the EEOC. And some of the symbols of your communication are confusing. The location of having a space where there are guns, the visuals of riots and fire are very confusing. And then some of the conversations that you had, like at the university you were at not too long ago, saying that these rallies are intentionally creating publicity in a way that allows young people to Google what's going on and feel like they can be recruited to political ideas makes me feel like maybe what your heart intention is and what is being conveyed to the general world doesn't match up.
Oh, okay. The whole guns thing kind of threw me off there. Okay, so you're saying that, yeah, I'm saying you want to give me the benefit of the doubt, but you're saying that some, my words, you like my words, but you're concerned about how sincere they are because of imagery and because of, like I'm going on a federal park, which does allow guns and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's less about questioning your motives and inviting you to get rid of the ambiguity that makes it possible to fuel the hate that you disavow. And yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you why I go to the federal parks?
Would you just reflect that last part? Then I think it's your turn after that last piece.
What's that?
Just what did you hear Megan say at the very end, and then it'll be your turn next.
No, didn't I already say?
Do you feel heard, Megan? Did you feel heard?
Yeah, I feel heard.
Okay, he feels heard. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So just to clear it up, the reason why we choose federal land when we can, and some of these very politically active areas like San Francisco, Portland and stuff, is because there's more consistency in terms of there's not as much politics. So the local police are used by the politicians. They're used and abused. And so it becomes a political thing. So we don't know what to expect when we go onto city land, because especially, and Megan, you have to understand, or I hope you understand how much Antifa plays into all of this whole conversation, even everything we're talking about. That's the biggest challenge I have in terms of being nonviolent, in terms of, that's why we choose the federal land, because we know that mayors use Antifa with police. Police will stand down. The mayor, like Berkeley, it's the same thing. And so just so it's hard. It's a fine balance. It's the whole thing between self-defense or being violent. It's difficult because of Antifa. I mean, if Antifa wasn't here, if they weren't involved, there wouldn't be nearly as many problems. We'd be able to have these awesome rallies with all these people in it. There would be no violence. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to post videos of them fighting and the riots and stuff. So.
Yeah, so I hear you saying that you understand the conflict, but you feel like you can't live up to the nonviolence that you would like to because Antifa attacks you at protests, and you pick federal property because the rules are more consistent from jurisdiction to jurisdiction.
Yeah, except it's not that I can't live up to it. It's that it's my biggest challenge right now. That's my biggest struggle right now. I literally need to find, and I'm working on it, but I literally need to find enough men who are going to be on the front lines with their hands up and won't fight back. That's the only solution. That's the only solution. That's the only way we will be able to beat Antifa in terms of getting the community to finally turn on them.
Yeah, I hear you saying that you need enough people who can stand with you, who are as committed to nonviolence as you, in order to maintain it.
Yeah.
Is there more? Or?
No, I just, I hate to cut this short. My phone's about to die and I got to get back inside. But I really hope that in the future, Megan, if people can get more comfortable, and I need to do a better job, I understand that. But in the future, it's like, I want people like you, I want leaders like you to be speaking at these rallies. I want your people to be coming into these rallies. You know what I mean? I want these rallies to be extremely diverse. And like I said, that's why I'm getting away from the politics. And so,
I hear that, and I thank you for that, and I again affirm the words that you use, and that's not something that could be possible until it's less ambiguous what you're inviting and what you're fueling. And so I thank you for at least holding holding people accountable when you can, and trying to encourage all people, regardless of where they stand, to love each other's in their hearts.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to thank both of you for taking part in this empathy circle. As I mentioned, we've been to these different rallies. We set up the empathy tent. We'll be there on the 26th with the empathy tent. Anyone can come, be heard. We can also facilitate these dialogues. And I hope we can continue this dialogue going forth with yourselves and other people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Edwin and Joey.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks a lot. Bye.